Hey everyone, it's Sky here and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be doing the Would You Rather tag, and this was created by Kirsty over at Kirsty Color and Sketch. Hopefully I'm saying her name right. I want to say Kirsty, but it's spelled like Kirsty, so hopefully it's right. So I just did a little bit of a speed color to have in the background, so let's talk about that super quick first. So this is from the book 50 Halloween Mandalas, and it's by Kameliya, Angelkova, and I'm probably saying that completely wrong. And Miss Sabrina over at Sabrina's Twist of Color actually enabled me into buying this, and that also led to me buying, I think, 3 or 4 other books of hers. So yeah, I've now added some of her stuff to my collection, so gives you something a little bit to watch while we answer these questions. So let's get started on the first one. So the first question is, would you rather color in the same coloring book for the rest of your life or use the same medium for the rest of your life? I feel like this one is easy and not at the same time, because I do like using different mediums, but I always go back to my Prismas, always. But the books that I color in, I color in all of the books that I have. I don't have one single book that's not colored in unless it's a newer one. So I would have to say that I would use the same medium for the rest of my life, because I could just use Prismas and be completely happy doing so. It would be no problem whatsoever. So yeah, that one's a little bit of an easy one. So let's move on to question number 2, which is, would you rather color a full page full of leaves or color a wallpaper style page? For me, this is a little bit tricky because I go to what's like visually pleasing, so I don't know. I guess it would have to depend on like what kind of leaves or what it looked like, what the wallpaper style page looked like. Although without knowing, I'd have to say that I would probably color a wallpaper style page instead. Even though I'm not a huge fan of them because they're extremely repetitive, but hopefully there's a little bit more to it than just leaves. So I've actually done a few. There's one that I've done from Johanna Basford's Lost Ocean that I absolutely love. So I feel like wallpapers can be nice, especially if you want a little bit more of a mindless coloring experience. You don't have to pay attention too much, and I find that you can use a limited color palette on them too, so that technically makes things a little bit less stressful. So question number 3, would you rather color fur or skin? Well, you guys are not going to be surprised at all with my answer on this one. It's definitely skin. I think I've probably said it 1,000 times on this channel that I absolutely love coloring skin, which is crazy because when I first started coloring people, I was definitely really intimidated by it because it's so easy to mess up on. And I look back on some of my older skin that I've done, especially when I was working with the Prismacolor Scholars. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but you definitely just don't get the blending or colors that you need to get that kind of smooth effect. You can get some decent skin with them, but if you're going for something kind of like amazing and has that like huge wow factor, having the full set was definitely helpful. And yeah, I love that look of skin that you can achieve with those pencils. So question number 4. Would you rather color a double page spread in Kirby Roseanne's book or a double page spread in a Clara Markova book? Okay, I am actually going to have to look up Clara Markova because it rings a bell, but I don't have any of her books. So obviously that's going to have an effect on my answer. I mean, obviously it would have to be a Kirby Roseanne's book because he is what I have. But okay, so she's the one that does those like super cute, whimsical pages. I do really enjoy her style, and I would love to add some of her books to my collection, but they are so darn expensive, I just haven't yet. So without having one of her books, I find this a little bit difficult to answer, but I'm gonna go with Kirby's just because he's what I have. And I don't really know what any of her double page spreads look like, so kind of a tricky one there. Question number 5. Would you rather color grayscale or line art? I have only ever colored, I think, 2, maybe 3 grayscale pictures, and I actually did not like them. I was not a fan. I do like how in grayscale you've got your shadows in there for you, so it's definitely helpful in that regards. But I find that it stresses me out for some reason. I don't know if it's just because I'm not very familiar with it or I don't really know what I'm doing and I just kind of wing it. But I'm going to have to say for this one, I would rather color line art because I'm content and comfortable doing so. So question number 6. Would you rather color a page by Mystic Art Mirrors or Christine Karen? This one is difficult. I love them both. I don't have any of Christine Karen's singular books, but I do have, I think, 1 or 2 of the Coloring Heaven. I think I get Coloring Heaven and Creative Haven mixed up, but the magazine. I have a few of those with her work in it, and oh, it's absolutely gorgeous. So, sorry, Mr. Art Mirrors, but I'm gonna have to go with Christine Karen because yeah, they're just so beautiful. And actually, with that being said, I don't think I've colored any of her pages, but I do often flip open that book that they're in and I just look at them. They're so pretty. Even the grayscale ones, I want to color some of those. Question number 7. Would you rather color, would you rather color in silence or color with background noise? I kind of like both. I don't mind the silence, but I find generally when I color, I've usually got music playing. Sometimes I'll have like a basic Netflix show in the background, but if I have anything too what's the word I'm looking for? If I have anything too kind of attention grabbing in the background, I find I mostly focus on that instead, so I try not to really watch anything when coloring. But yeah, I definitely enjoy listening to music, so I'm gonna go with that. Question number 8. Would you rather color with a mix of mediums and brands or stick to one medium and brand? I tend to stick to one medium for the most part. I do throw in a few different ones. Like I like using my Neocolors for the backgrounds, or sometimes I like doing a marker base and then going over with Prismacolors, but a lot of the times I use also like just Prismacolors. So I'd have to say that I would rather color with a mix of mediums and brands because it definitely brings out a picture. I'd be okay with using just one medium and brand, but it definitely limits you, and I kind of like having a variety of things to use and kind of make the picture that much more interesting. So question number 9, would you rather use a white gel pen or a white Posca pen? White Posca pen all the way. This is a no-brainer for me. I have tried so many different gel pens. I've tried the Sakura Jelly Rolls. I've tried the Uniball Signos, which definitely did better than the Sakura Jelly Rolls, but I don't know. I find mine gets clogged. I don't know if it's because I get a lot of wax buildup when I color because I do press very hard and you don't really notice the wax buildup, or at least I don't. But maybe it's there, maybe that's what's clogging my pens. But I find with the Posca pen, I get a much better result. I think the only annoyance I have with them is sometimes it doesn't seem quite white. It seems more of like a watered down white sometimes, but I usually just go over it a couple times and that's usually good enough to solve the problem. So yeah, white Posca all the way. Question number 10, would you rather color in the morning or color at night? Honestly, lately, I would rather just color at all because I don't have time, especially right now with it being Inktober and everything. There's just so much chaos. October's a crazy month for us because we've got birthdays galore, we've got Inktober going on, I've got 2 jobs, and everything is just super chaotic. But I'd have to say that I usually tend to color more in the afternoons, honestly. I work mornings, so I don't usually color a whole lot. And in the evenings, I'm usually too tired to do anything. So I'm usually in front of the TV, or my favorite thing to do in the evening is just lay in bed and scroll through my phone, and I look at everybody else's coloring rather than coloring myself. So I'm going to say afternoon, even though that's technically not really an answer. I guess I would rather color in the morning, but I always color in the afternoon. Question number 11. Would you rather color a page using a YouTube tutorial or color a page using a tutorial from a book? For example, The Color of Special Effects Books by Helen Elliston. I'm going to have to go with YouTube tutorial for this one because I am definitely a visual learner, so I like being able to actually see what people are doing. I think I would have troubles trying to follow a special effects book. I just feel like there's a little bit more explanation in a video, and I don't know, I feel like it would be easier to follow, and I have followed a few videos, so I also don't have any tutorial books. I do have the Pop Mango one, but she more goes through like painting, not so much coloring, so yeah. Question number 12. Would you rather color food or glass? That's an interesting one. I would like to learn how to color glass. I attempt to, but it doesn't look very good. So I'd say I would rather color glass. I'd like to learn how to do that. Question number 13. Would you rather color in Jasmine Beckett Griffith books or Jade Summers books? Jasmine Beckett Griffith all the way, for two different reasons. One being the paper. So I find the paper in Jade Summers books pretty much like unbearable to work in. I love the images. They are so cute. I kind of stopped buying their books when they stopped offering the PDF format because I don't have a scanner. So I can't really put them on my own paper, and it's just kind of a hassle, so I just don't get their books anymore because I can't stand the paper. And I've heard a lot of people complain about the paper in Jasmine's books, but I absolutely love it. I actually find that the Prismacolors look so much more vibrant on the paper in her books for some reason, and I don't know, I love it. So yeah, definitely Jasmine Beckett Griffith. The second reason would be because of the style. I'm so drawn to her girls, which is funny actually because Sabrina, who tagged me in this video, she kind of got me into Jasmine Beckett Griffith, and I know when she got one of her first or like second coloring books and she was like showing me a couple pages from them that she'd colored, I did not like them at all. I remember very specifically telling her that the eyes creeped me out, and now I have all of Jasmine's books except for the Alice in Wonderland one, just because I do love Alice in Wonderland, but it just seems like a little bit repetitive to me, and I just didn't really fall in love with a whole lot of the pictures, and I'm the type of person where I'm kind of frugal with my money, so if I don't like at least half of the pictures in a coloring book, I'm not going to get it, even if there's one that I really like. I can't do it. So yeah, kind of funny. Number 14. Would you rather color a color by number book or a mandala book? I think the color by number books look pretty cool. I like the idea of it. I don't actually have any. I do have some mandala books, especially now since Miss Sabrina introduced me to Miss Angelkova, but for this question, I think I'm going to go with a color by number book because that kind of eliminates having to pick colors, which I think makes coloring a little bit more less stressful. You can kind of enjoy it more and just relax and actually focus on the actual coloring process rather than everything else that usually goes with it. Question number 15. Would you rather use watercolors forever or use alcohol markers forever? I don't like this question. I don't mind using alcohol markers for a base, and I am using alcohol markers. I think it's just like a generic Artist Loft brand for my Inktober thumbnails. And I'm not hating them, but I'm also working on like really small area for my my Inktober thumbnails. I just use like a printed out calendar, so it's literally a calendar square that I work in. So I'm actually finding it not too bad. I did try to use markers, just markers, on one of my books, and I did not like it. I couldn't get them to blend. I also have bullet nib markers though, and I feel like brush markers definitely blend better. Those are the ones that I currently have. They're just all grays. So I think I could do okay with markers if they were brush tip. I don't like watercolor. I like it for some aspects. I do like using galaxies and like just backgrounds that you want to look super cool and have no control over, but that's also the same reason that I don't like watercolors, is because you can't really control them. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with markers for that one. Would you rather color a Christmas page in June or color an Easter page in December? Definitely a Christmas page in June, although I usually do a Christmas in July thing, but I mean, a month early, that's not a huge deal. I love Christmas. Honestly, I'd just rather color Halloween pages all year long. Can that be an option? Yeah, definitely Christmas in June. I'm not a huge fan of Easter actually, and I don't have very many Easter coloring pages, but when it hits December, I'm just like super Christmassy. I love Christmas. There's something so warming about Christmas. I don't know what it is, but question number 17. Would you rather color on Create Space paper or on toned hand paper? I have never colored on toned hand paper, so I'm not really sure on this one. I do know that some of the Create Space paper absolutely is terrible, so I'm gonna say toned tan paper because I've seen some pretty amazing stuff done on it. I'm sure if I actually like used it and figured it out, I could probably handle it fairly easily, or at least kind of get used to it and learn it. But Create Space paper, I feel like there's no learning there. It's just you're dealing with terrible and you have to try and do your best. And sometimes it turns out and sometimes it doesn't. Although that being said, a lot of Hannah's books are done in Create Space paper, and I usually do okay with them. So I don't know. I feel like this is a trick question. We're gonna go with toned tan paper just to be different. Okay, question 18. Would you rather color with Prismacolor Premier pencils or Arteza pencils? I do not have Arteza pencils, and I don't need them to know the answer for this question. I would definitely rather color with Prismacolor Premiers, and I always do anyways, so they are by far my favorite pencils out of the ones that I have tried, even above the Polychromos, which I sold one of my kidneys for. Just kidding, but I very well could have for the price. But yeah, I definitely love, love, love my Prismas. Sabrina actually, she got mad at me once. She told me I need to use some other pencils. Where are we? Question number 19. Would you rather color a background or color the main image first? This is another one of those it kind of depends questions because it depends on the picture and what I'm doing for the background. If I'm doing something like watercolor or any kind of like water mediums or like pastels, I generally like to color the background first if I can. But I find a lot of the time I usually color the main image first and usually do the background for last. It also kind of depends on how I envision the page. Sometimes a background just speaks to me first, so I color it and base everything else off the background. Other times I don't really know what to do, so I start coloring the image and then base the background off of the colors that I've used for the image. But to answer the question, I'm gonna say most times I probably color the main image first. Okay, question number 20. Would you rather use Neocolor 2s or Derwent ink tints? Oh, this is a hard one. I love both of those. I feel like this is another really tough one because I usually only use Neocolor 2s for backgrounds, whereas I use Derwent ink tints to actually color pictures and backgrounds. So since the Derwent ink tints seem to be more versatile for me, I use them more. I'm gonna go with I would rather use the Derwent ink tints. But when it comes to what I enjoy using more, it would definitely be the Neocolors. But I can't get to using them for a whole image. I just usually like them for backgrounds. Question number 21. Would you rather rip a page out of a book that has gone wrong or persevere and rescue the page? No, 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 no. Never rip your pages out of books. Don't do that. I am OCD in a lot of ways. I admit it. It's a gift and a curse. I can't rip my books. No. That, like, just the thought of that bothers me. I would have to try and fix it, and even if I couldn't fix it, it would stay in there and it would be a reminder, and I would look at it and be like, don't make this mistake again. But I feel like if you try to actually like redeem a page and fix it, I feel like you actually learn a lot more by just throwing it out. And there has been quite a few pages. There's one Hannah one in particular that I can think of. I colored her eyes purple and I don't know, I just hated it. I absolutely hated it. It looked terrible. She kind of looked demonic and I was just not a fan. So what I did was I actually cut eyes, the shape of the eyes out of different paper, colored them a different color and then glued them to the page over top of what I'd colored. And that's just one of the many times that I've messed up, and I've always managed to fix them. And I find that even if I don't absolutely love how it looks when I've fixed it, I usually at least don't hate it. And like I said, it's kind of a learning experience. So yeah, I would definitely rather rescue a page. Question number 22. Would you rather color in a hardback book or a softback book? I don't have very many hardback books. I think the only ones I have are the Hannah Carlson ones. I don't really think I have a preference though. It doesn't really make too much of a difference for me, but just because I have more softback than hardback books, I'm just gonna go with softback. But honestly, I don't know, I don't have a preference. And then lastly, bonus question, who is your favorite artist? I don't know, guys. Do you guys know the answer? 10 points to whoever can comment my favorite artist in the comments below. I'll go and put a rainbow emoji for everyone who gets it right. So I am going to tag, I'm like a little bit late to this, I was tagged a while ago and I just haven't had the time to make this video up till now. So I'm sure the majority of people that I kind of follow have probably already done this video or have been tagged already. But I'm going to tag Jannie over at Craving for Coloring, even though she's been MIA from YouTube for like 9 months, and I'm super sad about that. So I'm gonna message her and let her know that I tagged her, and maybe this will kind of get her back into it. I don't know, fingers crossed, I hope so, because I absolutely love her coloring. I am almost 98% sure that this person has probably been tagged already, but she hasn't put a video up yet, so I'm going to tag her anyways. And that is Sammie over at Color and Chat with Sammie. So hopefully she's been tagged a few times and this puts a fire under her butt to get that video out, because I'm actually curious to how she would answer these questions. I'm also going to tag Robin over at Robin Loves Reading. I haven't seen this video up by her yet, so I don't know if she's been tagged. And lastly, I think I'm going to tag Shannon over at Shannon-chopnhayes, and I don't think she's been tagged either yet. So yeah, those are the 4 people I'm going to tag. I don't know how many we were supposed to tag, but I was kind of scrambling to figure out who I wanted to. These guys are fairly new or small on YouTube, and they could definitely use some love. So if you watch this, feel free to go over and subscribe to them. I will have everybody linked down below. So I'll have Kirsty, who is the creator of this tag. I'll have Sabrina linked. She was the one who tagged me. And then I will have Jannie, Shannon, Robin, and Sammie all tagged down below. You guys can feel free to go check them out. And I think that's it for this video. I've been fairly busy, so I've got a lot on the back burner that I want to get up for the channel, but I just haven't gotten around to it, and hopefully that'll just mean that we'll have a lot of content for later on at least. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, take care, and I will see you next time. Alright guys, bye!